Thank you so much. About 22 years ago, I bought my first house in a place called Havertown, Pennsylvania, which is outside of Philadelphia. And as a brand new buyer, I had three criteria: close to public transportation, I was pre-approved up to $250,000, and I wanted a mortgage payment of $1,300. And I was only 25 years old. Don't do the math to see how old I am. And the realtor that I used was my parents, Bob and Tilly. Tilly showed me the homes. Bob did all the math. So I'm a pretty quick decision maker. So when I found a house that I liked, I was ready to make an offer. I had one question: what's the mortgage payment going to be? And when I asked Bob that question, he was clearly annoyed by me. Clearly annoyed by me as to why I was asking that for any house that I liked. How many people here work with buyers? Okay. Looking back on the situation, finding a house in less than 10 days, actually it was probably 14 days. I found a house in less than 14 days and maybe saw 10 houses. So I was a pretty quick buyer. So I finally found the one, a house that was $172,000, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and I was ready to make an offer. So who remembers what I said I was pre-approved up to? $250. Okay. So I'm gonna put a pin in it right now. Why, if I was pre-approved up to $250,000, was I making an offer for a house that was $172,000? Mortgage payment. So what I did not understand at the time is a small difference. Looking back on it, the small difference between a house at $172,000, $180,000, $185,000, $190,000. Had I known that, I might have made a different decision. If Bob would have said to me, well, what's important about knowing the mortgage payment before we go see a house? I would say, well, I need a worst case scenario payment. And if he would have said, what's a worst case scenario payment? I would have said, if I don't get a commission check, because I was in financial sales at that time, if I don't get a commission check, I need to make sure I can afford the mortgage payment. And if he said, well, what's important about not being able to afford the mortgage payment even without the commission checks? What else is important? I would have said, the last thing I want to do if I'm 25 years old is ask my parents for money. So instead of just being annoyed with my objection before making an offer about asking what the mortgage payment was, and he would have went a little bit further to see what was important about that, he would have found out that maybe if the payment was $1,300, $1,300, $1,500, $1,400, I would have been all right with it. Instead, not knowing and being an uninformed buyer without the questions that I thought could have been asked, I was just looking at the lowest priced homes in Havertown. So if he would have asked a few more questions, I might have bought a $78,000 more house, or would have spent $78,000 more on the house that I bought. How many of you would love to ask really good questions and have your buyers spend a little bit more money if they would have been a little more informed? I like money too, right? So what we're going to talk about today for objection handling is understanding the objection and really getting to the heart of what people are saying. We're still on the same slide, Meg. And getting to the heart of what people are saying, because when people give you an objection, it's really just a request for more information. They're in front of you. They want to work with you. They want to buy from you. And we're going to talk about how to get clarity there. So today's presentation is not going to run like a presentation. It's going to be facilitated like a workshop. And the good news is I did all the work ahead of time, and you get to shop for the nuggets that you'd like to take away and put in your business. And I ask 3 things. Number 1, don't worry, Joey, I'm definitely not going to voluntold you. I'm not going to voluntold anyone, but participation does help. And if you decide that you don't want to participate, Jeffrey and Chase said they would help us. They also have mic runners here. Number 2, there's no wrong or right answers. There's just answers, and we're going to get better together. I don't think that my way is the highway and it's the right way and it has to be like this. If you want to be able to persuade other people and their mindset, you have to be able to be persuaded as well. So be open-minded. And number 3, if you're maybe someone who's a little more experienced and maybe not feeling like you're in rookie mode here today, maybe be open-minded to some new ideas. Mike, can you check? Oh, there we go. So this is our first quiz, the definition of an objection. Oh. But I'd like the example. I should have asked a better question. So what's the definition of an objection? Sir with glasses, eating his breakfast? A reason not to do something. Perfect. We got the first one right. A reason not to do something. Interest rates are too high. I'm not ready. I want more money for my house. And what's the definition of a condition?
Y'all SAT scored low.
Oh, the gentleman. Sir, what's your name with the glasses?
Johnny.
Johnny. Johnny on the spot. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Appreciate what you're doing, getting the crowd involved.
The whole presentation's like that. Go.
Wonderful. Condition would be something that is outside of your control and something you can't change.
Exactly. Outside of your control, something that you can't change. Say, for example, I can't move till my daughter graduates from high school in June of 2026. That's a condition. So when we start doing the objection handling later, we want to make sure we're listening. Is it an objection or is it a condition? Because typically a condition we can't change, right? That's something that has to happen first. It's my favorite slide. It's my favorite slide. So a good objection handler versus a bad objection handler. Who here has heard marry the house, date the rate, or maybe saw it on Instagram? If someone says interest rates are high, will that solve their problem? Right? So a bad objection handler is when you are doing things like giving advice, throwing up information on people. I call it pitch slapping. They say one thing, you say the other. You're trading punches. That's a bad objection handler. Like you say this, they say that. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. A good objection handler is getting clarity. So for example, if you walked into the doctor's office, and you're like, "Hey doc, my back hurts," and he was like, "Hey, just take some pills. The pharma rep dropped them off. You'll be fine. I've been here. I'm experienced. I know this. Just take these pills." How would that make you feel? I mean, some people might take the pills. Versus the doctor, you go in, you say, "My back hurts." And he's like, "When did it happen? How did it happen? Did you fall? How long has it been hurting? Where is it hurt on your back?" A good objection handler is seeking clarity and asking questions before offering a solution. I'm sure you've all heard prescription before a diagnosis is malpractice. So when someone gives an objection, before we answer their question, and I'm not saying to deflect, we want to understand what they're asking and why they're asking it. For example, if someone says interest rates are really high, what do they mean? Or what could they mean? They're worried about the payment. Gentleman in the front row with the glasses. It's too expensive. House prices are too high. My Uncle Bob said don't buy a house because it's not the right time. I want pre-COVID rates or COVID rates, right? So we want to make sure that when we handle objections, we take the time to really understand what the person in front of us is saying. And I was speaking with Joey before the presentation, and let me ask you a question. It's not a trick question. Does anyone want to be manhandled? Does anyone want to be handled?
I don't.
No, they don't want to be handled. They want to be heard. Communication has become so efficient. At times it becomes less effective because we're not slowing down to hear people. And if we don't take the time to hear them and just handle their objection, we're going to hinder ourselves being able to help them and help them buy a house, sell a house, do whatever they're doing for what you're selling in the audience. So before we get into role play and teaching a short segment here, which is my favorite part, what's the most common objections you're getting right now? This is where you definitely need participation because it's going to help for the role play later. Joey. Oh, young lady in the glasses. I'm waiting for rates to drop. Okay. The market's going to go down. What else? I'm waiting for prices to come down. Okay.
Can't find anything that I'm looking
Can't
for.
find anything to show inventory.
Yeah, no inventory.
Okay. Now, if someone said the first young lady, what was your name again? Natasha. I wasn't sure who spoke. The lights are kind of bright.
Yeah, it is. I can't see John over here. So you got
So interest rates. So when someone says interest rates are too high, what could they mean? What are like 5 things?
that the cost is too high for them to afford
The
the
cost is
payment,
too high.
or just that they are worried about they're protecting their legacy, essentially, their investment already if they're taking it and making a move.
Okay. They could be protecting their legacy. The price could be too high. They currently maybe have a 3% rate, right? So when we say things like, not that anyone here says it, of course, no one here says it because you took the time to be here. If they say marry the house, date the rate, that doesn't help their problem, right? Our job is to help solve a problem. So we need to get clarity on what their problem is. Meg, if you can go to the next one. So this is the fun part. So this is step 1 of a 7-step system. We only have enough time to teach 3 questions today. There's probably 35 to 40 questions that we might teach on how to gain clarity. The first question is what's important about. So with Bob, if he said what's important about that rate, I'm sorry, about the monthly payment, I would have said, I want to make sure I can afford my monthly payment if I'll get a commission check that month. For the record, my salary was $2,600 a month and my commission checks were consistently $5,000 for 2 years. I probably could have afforded a $2,500 house. And the reason that the first statement's important is currently when I shadow a lot of people and we do a lot of classes and role play, agents tend to typically ask 2 questions. Who wants to guess what those questions are? What do they want to know? Say someone walks into your open house. What do you want to know from them? What brought you in here? What else?
Are you working with an agent?
Are you working with an agent? Who can shout out LP Mama? What do we want to know? Location, motivation. Do you have an agent? Are you pre-approved? How long have you been looking? Timeline. So what's important. So those questions, we can get to that. We can get to those questions. But when we ask someone what their motivation is, what do they think? We're really asking.
Why they're moving?
why they're moving. And if a salesperson's asking, so what's your motivation? We might sound like a salesperson. If we ask, what's your timeline? We're trying to figure out when our transaction is. So, and it's not about being right or wrong. The reason I like the question, what's important about, is you're asking what someone's motivation is without saying the word motivation. Because every other agent who's not in our room right now, they're saying the same things over again. What's your timeline? What's your motivation? And we can ask that. To me, this is just a more relational way to ask it. And we don't just ask the top question and then move forward. We go down. For example, what's important about the mortgage payment? I want to make sure I can afford it if I don't get a commission check. What else is important? I want to make sure I don't have to ask my parents for money. So a lot of times when we handle objections or we're having conversations, we move forward in the conversation and we don't move down. We need to go deep, not just run forward. Because we're working in houses every day, and these people are maybe doing it every 7 to 10 years. So you need to make sure we slow down and meet them where they're at. And then what does X look like is another one of my favorite ones. And I'm going to do this as a question. Could it be possible that we all have different definitions of move-in ready? You're laughing because I was like, I want a move-in ready house. You're like, well, you could move in there. I don't know if it's ready. So we want to get clarity, not just on what's motivating them, but in the words that they're using or the words that we're using. Because what if, for example, if people are like, oh, interest rates are too high. Well, what does too high look like to you? What does a low rate look like to you? So we want to get a little more granular before we move forward in the objection handling and get a clear idea of what they're saying. Meg? This is my favorite part. So we have some rules with role playing. Actually, I'm not going to say rules. I'm going to say guidelines. So we have some guidelines when we role play. We are going to, never fall in there, but we're going to repeat and prove with clarity. If you've noticed with the audience, I've been repeating and proving and asking questions. So we're going to repeat and prove with clarity so we hear them. Number 2, we're going to answer their question, then ask a question. The person who asks questions is in control of the conversation. Who here has felt on the back foot at one point or another when someone's just, what do you charge? What's your commission? And just starts throwing questions at them. Oh, me, Jeff, and Chase are the only ones, and this gentleman in the front row? Maybe. That's fine. I will find them, Chase. I will find them. I want them done. No, I'm kidding. And there's no such thing as a wrong or right answer. And most importantly, during our role play session, because I'm going to need some volunteers, we are going to have fun. We are going to have a lot of fun. We're going to use the 3 questions that we just went through to do some objection handling. You're going to hear some other questions that I ask. Again, I can't teach all 40 plus things that we teach, but you're going to hear some additional questions role modeled. And we're going to get extreme clarity on what the other person is saying. So who would like to role play with me today? Do we need the mic? Oh, well, then we'll do 2 very quickly. So the gentleman in the Kansas City ads first, and then someone else is second. And what's your name, sir?
Bryce.
Bryce. I used to be a CrossFit coach. I'm also a little hard of hearing because of loud music. I'm Andrea. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the stage. It's going to be fun.
Cool. Thank you.
Bryce. Oh my God.
That's right. The Bryce is right. That used to be my team name, and then I started a brokerage, and I went away from that. But,
I love it. That's for the people who are watching us live. So we're being live streamed right now. I don't know how comfortable you feel like that. And you have this art to the left of the green tape. Left of the green tape. Stage management. All right. So what's the objection that you want help handling?
Oh,
That you get a lot. And someone in the audience is going to.
I want to talk to the listing agent.
That's my favorite. All right. Who wants to be my buyer?
Right here.
Oh, your name, sir?
My name is Jose Samano. Jose Samano.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. You just said so quick and I didn't hear. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to call you and
I'm the agent.
we're the agent. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and I'm the buyer, correct?
Yeah. And you want to talk to the listing agent.
Okay, cool. And what was your name?
So, my name is Bryce.
Hi, Bryce.
You're
Listing
Jose.
agent.
All right, cool. So,
You're not the listing
I
agent.
guess it's
Oh, no, sure. Yeah, I'm the buyer's agent. Yeah. Okay, ring, and then I'll answer. Yeah. Okay, so ring. Hi, this is Bryce Olson with House Brokerage. This is Jose. Is that who I'm speaking with?
Yes. I was kind of wondering, I came across this property and I was wondering if you are the listing agent for this home.
Jose, no, I am not the listing agent. So whenever you get connected to us on Zillow, they put you in touch with a local premier agent here in Shawnee. And so I'm here to help you in Shawnee. The listing agent will be working with the seller.
Okay, well, why can't I just work with the listing agent?
Well, first off, what are you looking for?
I'm looking to see this house and maybe purchase it.
Okay, well, great. I do see this house. I have helped a lot of people in that community. Our kids actually go to school right around the corner. What's important to you about this particular property?
I just want to get a great deal. That's why I want to talk to the listing. Are you the listing agent?
No, I'm not the listing agent. So the listing agent would be working, with the seller.
Oh.
I'm here to help you to be able to navigate and negotiate and get you the best terms. And so I'd be here on your behalf as your advocate, whereas that listing agent would be working with the seller.
Oh.
So would you like to go take a look at that, or?
Yeah, I mean, I was just, told that if I worked directly with the seller that I would get a better deal just because they would, I don't know, maybe lower their price. I don't know. I just, so.
Yeah, so we can go over that when we talk, and I can kind of show you exactly kind of how that works, and we can walk through that. But the listing is already on the MLS, so they've already kind of determined what they're going to be doing as far as, let's be careful about this one.
It's all right. All right to put a pin in it.
Yeah, so, sure.
Ready to put a pin in it. And you're like, please save me. No, I'm kidding. Let's give Bryce a round of applause. He did good. He got up on stage. He's like, I just want her role play cards. That's the only reason I came up here.
That's right.
So his objection is that he wanted to work with the listing agent. Do you know why it's important that he works with the listing agent?
That's a really good question that I should have asked.
He eventually said it, but we didn't ask it. Who did most of the talking? Sorry, Bryce. This is no hurt. Who did most of the talking? Who needs to do most of the talking? Jose. And what I love about you, Bryce, is that you're so confident in what you're saying that if we maybe try and role play it a different way and you add a little things in there, you're going to be lethal. I actually feel bad for whoever lives in the town that you live in because you're so confident. We're going to role play it a little different. You ready?
Sure.
So he's going to tell you he wants to work with the listing agent, and we're going to say what's important about working with the listing agent.
Got it. I got to that with the town, but not, so you're right.
It's all right. So Jose, what's important about working with the listing agent?
Well, it's just about just getting the best deal possible as far as the price goes.
Okay. You want to get the best deal possible as far as the price goes. And what does the best deal look like to you, sir?
Well, I mean, I don't know, maybe $20,000 off the home.
Maybe $20,000 off the home.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's important about $20,000 off the home?
Well, I think that's gonna, save me some money in my pocket.
Okay. That's save you.
I mean, obviously, if I could get even more, that would be wonderful.
I love a good negotiator, Jose. I think we're going to become best friends. Right? Okay. And out of curiosity, when was the last time you worked with a listing agent for a property to make an offer?
Never.
Never. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. And, I want to make sure you're taken care of. And as a realtor, it's important that we give full disclosure. What do you understand about who the listing agent represents and who maybe their fiduciary functionary responsibility is to?
Well, I just thought they were the person that was in charge of like fielding the calls and putting the deal together. So I just thought they would give me a good deal. I don't know.
Okay, you thought they're the one fielding the calls, putting the deals together.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you knew that their first priority is representing the seller and that you would be secondary?
Okay. Oh, okay for.
Or I could say, would it be or I might say something like, what do you understand about your rights as a buyer in today's market with what happened over the last year? What do you understand about your freedom of choice when working with a buyer's agent versus the listing agent? So I could go into that, and we want to see what's important about him working with the listing agent, because what if the last time he bought a house, he worked with the listing agent and it worked out great. And we're just like, don't work with the listing agent. And then he's thinking, wow, the guy could have given me a bad deal. So we want to when we say what's important about, we want to do it about the objection. The objection is working with the listing agent. And you were telling him, you told him all the stuff about the listing agent, but we want to earn the right to give him our answer. And we have to do that through asking a question versus just telling him. Who here wants to be told what to do? None of us. Nobody wants to be told what to do. We're adults, but we want to know what to do. So anything that you want to tell someone, reverse engineer it into a question so that we can tell him that. What do you understand about who the listing agent represents? And then he would be like, well, I don't know. And then you would have said, what do you say about what the listing agent? On the mic.
What do I say, or what?
You were telling him. You were telling him.
Oh, as far as just they're going to advocate for the seller, and I'm here to advocate and be your representation. Be the one in your corner.
Yeah. How would you feel if you had someone in your corner to advocate for you while the listing agent is negotiating, advocating for the seller? I would love to get you that house for $20,000 less if we can. When would be a good time to go see it?
Yeah, my favorite thing to do is to negotiate for you. So I'm going to take a lot of pride and joy in being able to celebrate with you at the closing table, things like that.
I love
to be able to say it and to ask them in a way that gets them to talk more. And you are right on the money. And it doesn't take long to figure out that I like me some Bryce and I like to talk. And that is something I need to actively be working on. So thanks for pointing that out to all. I love it.
So that's okay. We all get our favorite station is WIFM. What's in it for me? We love to talk about ourselves. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So we're going to get other people to talk about themselves, build a whole body of evidence, build a ton of context. And then when it's our turn, then we get to make a recommendation and give content. Because when you give too much content, you give a lot of content. You just wanted to see a house without having a lot of context. It's just noise and it falls on deaf ears. And everything that you had to tell him was so good, and you really wanted to help him and educate him. But if people don't think that we understand their problem, I want to work with the listing agent. They're not going to be very likely to trust us with their solution.
Yeah. And I have a few flex teams, and I'm so used to trying to in Dallas and in Kansas City where I live. But I am so used to the Zillow way, that we've all
Script.
and trying to get them to meet in person, which is why I like push for that so much. And I'm starting to, anyway, there's a lot to say about all that. Just so not my.
Could it be possible that the ALM script does work with what I do, but we didn't run through that yet?
Correct.
Because you have 3 minutes. So I have a lot of Zillow Flex teams, and we have 3 minutes to ask like 5 questions, maybe, because we have to be under that 3-minute mark. And then the bigger conversation that I teach them is when they're at the house to convert them during the showing and build a relationship while they're there. Because sometimes they can't do it on the phone, but we can find out like 5 questions, and then I help them convert. I have a team down in Florida who was actually just here yesterday who I missed. So yeah,
Cool.
You can do it.
Yeah.
I promise I'll give it to you after this.
Cool.
How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Do you want my role play cards for your team?
I do. I would love that.
Okay.
Right-haired boss.
I believe we're out of time, Jeffrey and... No, Chase, no?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know if you're allowed to keep that mic.
Oh.
Can we go one through one more? We had one more young lady you said who was going to run up to the stage and join me. Jose?
Oh, I don't. You said that wrong. I don't want no beef. I
Okay, the rules are we're going to have fun.
Yes.
We're on this side of the green tape. Why don't we go this side of the room? We've been on that side. You need a mic? There we go.
go Eagles, baby.
There's no wrong or right answers. We're going to have fun. Yes. What do you understand about let me think. Give me a second. What do you understand about the responsibilities of the listing agent to the seller? How would you feel if you knew that the listing agent's responsibility was to the seller first and you as the buyer second? Maybe close to that. Would you like me to write down before I leave here today? Okay. You're welcome. And here's the deal. There's no wrong or right answers. You can massage it so it feels right for you. And my tonality is a little intense because I'm on stage. Typically, I'd be a little slower, a little caring, leaning in. I'm just talking fast because we're up here.
Perfect.
I think you want to be let's be on this side. This side of the room didn't get any love.
Okay.
Spotlight's on you, Jose.
Oh my goodness.
All right. What's the objection you want my help working through?
On ALM, I would say, the property's pending already.
So you know the property's pending, but they don't.
Yeah, like so no. Yeah, so like I guess I would get the question like, what does it mean that the property's pending? Like what is that?
Okay. Do you want someone in the audience? Who wants to be my audience member saying the property's Jeffrey? Great. The property's pending. No, you don't want to play.
Oh, we're literally on the same team. But all right, cool.
You're literally on the team.
Yeah, we're on the same team. So,
Would you like to give it to a student then in the class?
Yes.
Anyone?
You made eye contact. I should have made it easier.
It's okay. It's okay. We got this, Jose.
All right, let's do it. I'm getting.
And your name for Jose?
Hi, Jose. I'm Johnny.
Johnny.
Yes.
Johnny on the spot.
Yes. Hi, Johnny.
Hi.
Okay, so Johnny, you're going to tell Jose. You're going to say, what does it mean when it's pending?
Jose, what does it mean when the property's pending?
Now, here's the deal. He's asking a question, so we've lost control of the conversation. So we need to answer, and then we need to ask him a question next.
Of course.
Okay? Because we've lost control. We got to get the control back.
Okay. Jose, what does it mean when the property's pending?
Well, when a property's pending, usually means they've either entered into an escrow or in negotiations. But that information can sometimes be incorrect. So let me check in for you with the seller and let me kind of find out a little bit more details. And then can I give you a call back with that information?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious about X, Y, and Z.
One second. All right. Okay, that's a great question. We have to repeat and affirm.
Okay, cool.
That's a great question. You want to know what's pending mean. Let's say it in layman's terms.
Okay.
Negotiations, escrow, right? Let's swap those words out. What does it mean simpler?
So it's off the market?
No, we don't want to tell them that. We want to, because we want to stay in conversation that so that falls through. We want to make an offer. We want to do a transaction with this guy.
Okay.
So what else? What are some other words we could use instead of in escrow?
The house might have a buyer.
Thank you, Johnny, on the spot. All right. So let's say the house might have a buyer.
Okay. The house might have a buyer.
Okay.
Would it be helpful
Would it be helpful
if I checked with the seller and called you back?
if I check with the seller and called you back?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Great. When would be a good time? Oh, it's Wednesday. Great. When I should be able to get a hold of them before the end of the day. When would be a good time to give you a call back? Today at 4 o'clock or tomorrow at 9 a.m.?
The sooner the better. Yeah, I'm available anytime after 4.
The sooner the better. Great. I'll give it if I get a hold of it. Either way, I'm going to give you a call back tonight. What's your best number?
916-888-8755.
Number. Great. And then we're going to give them a call back.
Okay.
How do we feel about that? Do you like that?
Oh, yes.
You do. Do you feel like you could say that?
Can you run that one? Can we run that one more time?
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. So don't forget to repeat and affirm.
Okay.
What does pending mean?
So you're asking me,
That's a great question.
so that's a great question.
You want to know what pending means?
You want to know what pending means?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. It was.
So then pending well, you can say it in a bunch of different ways. Pending means that there's a possible buyer's offer on that home.
Oh, yeah. So pending means that there's a possible buyer or, some interest on that home.
Okay.
Would it be helpful
Would it be helpful
if I checked with the seller's agent
if I check with the seller's agent
and called you back later
and called
today?
you back later today?
Yeah, when you check, can you also find out if there's any flexibility on the price and like what's important to them?
So that's great. Or you can say, now remember, we have to repeat and affirm what he said briefly with
Yeah.
brevity.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I could definitely check on the price for you.
I can check on, you said, is there,
What's important to the seller? Yeah.
so what's important in the seller and the price? Okay, you want to know what's it? And I'm not saying I'm saying you.
Daily offers.
So swap the I's with U's. So, okay, you want to know if there's any wiggle room on the price
What's important to the seller?
and what's important to the
I
seller.
need a rent back, something like that.
And what's important to the seller. So now you got control of the questions again.
Okay.
Absolutely. Happy to answer those questions for you, Johnny. What else is important to you to know about that house before I call the seller's agent? So I like to call them once.
That's pretty much it. I'm just looking to make a decision soon. So I need
You're
to
just
know.
looking to make a decision. What's important about making a decision soon, sir?
Well, my rental's up, and so I'm either gonna have to renew the lease or find a replacement property.
Okay. So your lease is up and you're looking to potentially get into a property.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And out of curiosity, how long have you been looking?
About a month, 45 days, somewhere around there. I just got pre-approved.
Oh, you just got pre-approved. Congratulations.
Thank you.
30 to 45 days. And what was your experience like getting pre-approved?
Brutal.
Brutal?
Yeah.
What
a lot of
brutal?
paperwork. Well, they asked for everything.
They do ask for everything, taxes, W-2s.
All right.
So then we could transition it to, we just found out he's a renter.
Okay.
Let's see, there's going to be people like this who are going to pepper you with questions.
Yeah.
Answer their question, ask a question.
Got it.
Just keep getting back in control of the conversation. And my questions were about what he was asking. I'm not trying to move forward.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get clarity.
Got it.
Now, I could have went deep in the conversation instead of saying, let me call you back, but you can do either, depending on how much time you have in the day. If they're busy, if you're busy, you can hear when someone's busy on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
job.
great. Thank you.
But now do I have to mail you a present? Should there's person presents with me?
Yeah. Yeah. I need. I was hoping for your.
I will mail you a book. I have
Oh.
hundreds at my house.
No, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're welcome. Yay. All right, my next slide. Meg, the next step is, so hopefully all of you had a really good time today. I will be here until tonight, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer any of them for you. I love this stuff. I nerd out about this stuff, texting it, emailing it, saying it, pre-briefing conversations. You have a conversation later this week, you need help with it, use me while I'm here, because I'm going to be here all day. Jeffrey and Chase and Elena have been great people to work with. I'm very, very grateful to work with them. If you want to go to the next slide, if you want a download of everything I talked about today, don't worry, I'm not going to spam you. I promised Elena I wouldn't do that. Just scan the code. We have a free class schedule. It's on Eventbrite. It's every Thursday at 11 o'clock. Either me or my director of training, Chris, teaches it. Like today's at 11 was, we want to wait until after the holidays objection. So we do that every Thursday at 11 o'clock if you want to join that. And then otherwise, I'll send you a PDF. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, that's great. Sometimes sometimes there's good content on there. At least I think it's good content. Before I leave, what questions do you have for me? Do we even have time for a question, Chase?
I scanned the QR code. and it's
Johnny.
letting me do a
A Google.
request access.
Google page?
thing. Yeah. It says request access on it.
Oh, no. Would you like me to fix that later? I can fix that.
Okay, just a heads up. Yeah.
Thank you. I would. Thank you for using the phrase.
What most people do is.
What?
No.
Does anyone, before I leave the stage, does anyone know how I met Phil Jones? No, I didn't meet him through Tom Ferry, even though my maiden name is Ferry, but I'm not related. Was that Lindsay? And I'll be brief with this so we can stay on schedule. I listened to the book in 2 days, started teaching it legally. It's a licensed product, and everyone's conversion went through the roof. And I was just teaching the black book that I gave away to Bryce. Or no, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. that I give away. So I was like, well, I can go through a bunch of lawyers or I can do what I do best and I can just cold call him. So I went on True People Search, looked up his phone number. He has a British accent, so I knew it was him. He was the 8th person he picked up. Did not use any nice opening fact question. I just threw up words all over this man. And now that I know him, I'm severely embarrassed of how that happened. I'm like, hi, my name is Andrea and I said, I've read your book and it's really great. And can I have permission to use it like Encyclopedia Britannica and reference you in my workbook? And by the end of the phone call, I said, I would love to collaborate. And I nearly fell off my sofa. It was 7 o'clock on a Thursday night. And that was in July of 2022. He's like, listen, I'm going to be at the Tom Ferry event. Email me and we'll meet up. So I emailed him a stupid email with every single magic word in there. And when I got there and I saw him speak, I thought to myself, there is no way that I can introduce myself to this man. There's just no way. If you ever see him speak, he's a really good keynote speaker. And you just feel this small, especially if you just read his book. So I did not email him to meet up at the Tom Ferry event summit. But what I did do is borrow someone else's name tag and sneak into a private elite luncheon. Please don't tell Tom Ferry did that. With somebody else's name tag. And I saw him speak again. And I thought, this guy is amazing.